So last week when Sanya announces everybody's invited to Jamaica for a couples trip, I miss Kenya looking like, not a couples, call Brandon your blouse. He's always ready to film. Did Mark ever go on a trip with y'all? Seems like Mark wouldn't go across the street with Kenya. See, I don't really know if this guy at the gate in Candy's house was real, because why were we able to hear his voice so clearly like he was mic'd? I am Beyonce's family member. Oh my God. Really, that's what you say, family member? Not I'm her cousin, I'm her brother, family member. Oh my goodness. You can say half brother. You can be like, look, I'm one of Matthew's strays. So we back in Atlanta after Marlo kicked everybody off the trip. Lord, Sheree's son ain't nobody's 26. He look about 42. He was 26 when he was modeling for Cynthia. To stop that 26-year-old lie. He dang near Bob's age at this point. He look old. That's a hard 26. Oh, goodness, Sheree still playing in patterns and drawing stuff. Sheree, why is it always an idea, a pattern, a sketch? Why is it never clothing? She by Sheree gonna have a funeral. It's been had a funeral. You're trying to resurrect. Necromancer. Over at Candy's, she's having a party for Ace, and Drew and Kenya stop by with their kids. Over at La Archive, Marlo Amos is showing off her clothes to Sheree Camford Whitfield and Sanya. Girl, you really trying to hawk this stuff. Ain't nobody renting a hat for $150 a day. You could buy one for that. That Vuitton visor cute though. But Marlo, this Janelle Monáe confessional look, honey, this ain't it. Janelle, stop wearing that black and white. You don't need to start it either. You look like a lesbian maitre d'. That look is giving very sapphic staff. Very driving Miss Dyka Biker. So they bring up this fake not-so break-in over at Candy. And Kenya says, oh, you should get an off-duty police officer. That's what Cardi B does. Candy B was like, oh my God, I pay 24-hour security pay? Girl, she was more scared of the payment than the break-in. Candy had to shut her play down because of the vi. And I really appreciate her trying to bring more black roles to Broadway. That's a feat. That's really a feat. But I believe you'll be back on Broadway, Candy. You did it once, you can do it again. You've got the pull, you've got the talent. Over with Marlo Amos. They talking about how Kenya came on the trip with her butt on her shoulders, and she did. She did. Marlo's disappointed in Candy again. She's shown who she is, and Kenya's who she rocks with. Is that why you threw her out? Kenya, it was not a bipolar trip. You were a butt. That's what. Everybody was ready to have a good time. You had to be somewhere with Brooklyn. Stop bringing your baby also. Unless it's a mommy-daughter day, stop bringing her. We love her, but this is not the place. You don't see Candy bringing Ace or Drew bringing, what are her kids' names? Because she got two, too. So Sanya's telling everybody, I want it to be a balanced trip. So bring a friend, Sheree, since you're manless. Why don't you bring your girl? But she gonna call Kenya and remind her, it's a couples trip now. I know you're single as a dollar bill. I know you're single as a penny with a hole in it. I know that the only way you could find a man is to pay one spinster more. So I just wanted you to find a friend. Maybe you should call your blouse so that way you're not lonely on this trip, because we're going to be doing a lot of couples things and we're going to need you to be in a couple. And that's not your strong suit. It's your weakness. Maybe Walter's toupee dealer could go with you. Hell, call Penelope Thomas Bailey. She's always up for a scene. Everyone should have a +1. So Kenya pick up the phone and she's like, hey, Sonya, what's up? Sonya said, well, it's a couples trip. Kenya said, boop. The second time she said couples, Kenya was like, oh, okay, you want to rub my singleness in my face. Well, actually, it was Mark who rubbed it in your face. Actually, he didn't. Mark seems like a butt, though. He seems very smug and unpleasant. Marlo Amos heads to a parenting counselor who is fine. This man is fine. I'd have some kids with him. If y'all gonna have therapists this fine. Over at Candy's, they getting their trust together, and Candy's like, Todd, I don't really think you would spend the same money on Riley that I spend on Riley. I think you'd give her a budget and say that's it, like you treat your own redheaded stepdaughter. And everybody agrees, and Todd walks off butthurt. I agree with Candy, though. Everything ain't got to be a lesson. Everything ain't got to be hard. It's okay for black children to be rich for no reason. It's okay, I promise you. But they did Todd dirty when they was listing all of Candy's assets, the song publishing, bedroom, Candy, the house, Mama Joyce's house, the guest house, and Todd has a condo. He's got, the rights to R&B divas and Hollywood divas. Him and Carlos Queen made that. Two Blouse Productions. But that scene went on way too long. Y'all ain't leaving us no money, so we don't care. So since we having a little get-together at Sanya's before the Jamaica trip, we gonna celebrate Sheree's birthday while we at it. Lord, Sheree's still trying to put this clothing crap together. Oh, God, Todd's still whining about these dang kids and the fact that they want him to come up off more than $10 a month. See, Candy, you already got another Broadway show in the works. The Stingy Stepfather and His Destitute Daughters. But I forgot, because that light fell on Elise Neal's head, that's probably why Todd ain't got nothing to his name, because Elise took it all when they had to pay her for her MRI out of pocket. Because the light fell out of socket. It's the night of Sanya's shindig, and oh God, Drew, what are you showing up in? Oh, it's Marlo in these ridiculous fur boots. Candy, I've seen them tied leather shorts before. Throw them out. They ugly as hell. Now, Drew, just because you got your mortgage using an ISP number or an IEN or whatever, don't mean everybody's husband cracks cards, which is why Sanya lives out in Roswell where she can afford. All right, Kenya and Marlo are there enjoying their little standoff. Kenya ignores Marlo because she's irrelevant. Your husband ignores you because you're irrelevant, Kenya. You're irrelevant to him. So Sanya shows Kenya around the house and pulls it to the side, saying, "Why'd you hang up on me, heifer, just because you're a spinster? I didn't make you lonely. I just said you need to bring somebody on the trip. Grab your blouse, since you couldn't keep your louse." Kenya said, it was just very off-putting and your tone was very condescending. I'd be more concerned about the tone that life is giving you, because we've watched you run off Walter, Matt, and now Mark. I'd worry about that tone life's giving me. Every time you get a man, life take it right back. That's a tone and a talking to. Oh, Sheree walking in this cute Gucci suit is going back to the store. I can see the tags hidden in the sleeve. This is a great rental. So everybody sings Sheree and her fake purse a happy birthday. Kenya, you gonna get on Sonya about dry catered food, but when you had that trip to South Carolina, you ordered crab for yourself and didn't get nothing for nobody else. Your event wasn't even catered. So we tried to do that circular photo thing, but it's a little jank. Kenya gonna say as dry as those tortillas were, the only thing drier is your lumpy butt, Kenya. That's pretty parched too. It's giving child's birthday party city real, at the office. I don't do twist tops. Y'all ain't worthy of anything with a corkage fee. I ain't popping a bottle for y'all. Y'all getting some Arbor Mist with a twist. So Drew gets on Sheree about throwing a rock and hiding her hand, bringing that heifer round who had investigated her husband and his aliases. Tomato. I'm throwing tomatoes at you because you're whack. Sheree, she caught you trying to have a pit bull. Instead of you calling the husband gay, instead of you looking him up, you had to have your friend Fuma do it. And now you want to throw invisible tomatoes because you couldn't afford them. At least Drew could afford the dog bones she threw. You said just use your imagination for the insult. Sanya's mom's in the corner like, what? Is she miming? All the tomatoes. Sheree said, I think Drew secretly lives for me. No, she don't. So Sheree says Drew's always trying to make things about her and squabbling with somebody. I'll give you that. But Sheree, you did bring this heifer around to poke the bear. Well, poke Drew's hair. She said what she said about my husband. Well, your assistant said that about your husband. Maybe you forgot. Drew said, no, maybe your old butt forgot. Old and cold. You better hope you look like me at this age, and you have preserved well, but most lesbians do. That's what happens when you ain't got a man stressing you out. Marlo Amos. Sheree looks amazing to be. Sheree ain't really 60, is she? She's 52. Marlo, you knew what you was doing. I am done with it. I see where you stand. I am done with it. Okay, Drew, but the heifer you had beef with wasn't even here. Candy, why? Why are you asking Drew to sing? Why don't you favor us with a song? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Actually, Drew, your voice ain't bad. Your fashions are horrible, but the voice is good. This was a nothing episode. We closing it out with her rules for Jamaica. Celia said no props, no props. Go on and leave it at home. All right, so we heading to Jamaica next episode. I'm going to see you soon.